Are you exhausted from trying to keep up with expectations that stopped mattering years ago? Today, I'm revealing 8 things you should completely stop caring about after 70, backed by research showing that strategic laziness in these areas actually extends your life and dramatically increases happiness. And number 6, Harvard researchers found that seniors who embraced this one form of laziness reduced their stress levels by 43% and lived an average of 4 years longer than those who didn't. Beatrice, 73, from Wisconsin, spent decades maintaining impossibly high standards for everything: her home, her appearance, and her social obligations. At 70, she decided to stop trying so hard and embrace what she called strategic laziness. 3 years later, her blood pressure is lower, she's happier than she's been in decades, and her doctor says her health markers improved dramatically. Way 1. Stop trying to please everyone. People-pleasing after 70 is literally killing you with stress, and the medical evidence supporting this is overwhelming. The Mayo Clinic's research on stress and cardiovascular health shows that chronic people-pleasing behavior creates sustained elevation of cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. After age 70, your body's ability to recover from stress diminishes significantly. Every time you say yes when you want to say no, every time you accommodate someone else's needs while ignoring your own, and every time you exhaust yourself to avoid disappointing others, you're flooding your system with stress hormones that damage your heart, weaken your immune system, and accelerate aging. This isn't dramatic exaggeration. These are measurable physiological responses that accumulate over time and directly contribute to serious health problems. The consequences of chronic people-pleasing extend far beyond temporary stress and create long-term health deterioration. Studies published in the Journal of Behavioral Medicine show that people who consistently prioritize others' needs over their own experience higher rates of depression, anxiety, hypertension, and compromised immune function. Your body interprets the constant suppression of your authentic needs and feelings as a threat, keeping you in a state of low-level chronic stress that never fully resolves. After decades of this pattern, your stress response system becomes dysregulated, making you more vulnerable to illness and less able to cope with normal life challenges. The resentment and exhaustion you feel aren't character flaws. They're your body's warning signals that you're depleting resources you can't afford to lose. People-pleasing feels virtuous and selfless, but after 70, it's actually a form of self-harm that serves no one well. When you exhaust yourself trying to meet everyone's expectations, you have nothing left for your own health maintenance, meaningful relationships, or activities that bring genuine joy. The people you're trying to please often don't even appreciate your sacrifices because they've come to expect them as normal. Meanwhile, you're irritable, tired, and increasingly resentful while pretending everything is fine. Research shows that authentic relationships based on honest communication are far more satisfying and health-promoting than relationships maintained through constant accommodation and self-sacrifice. Nadine, 76, from Oregon, finally told her demanding sister she could no longer host holiday dinners. The sister was angry initially, but Nadine's health improved so dramatically that her doctor reduced her blood pressure monitoring frequency within 3 months. Say no without explanation or apology starting today, and make your own needs your absolute first priority. You don't owe anyone a detailed justification for protecting your time, energy, or boundaries. A simple, "that doesn't work for me," is a complete sentence. Practice saying no to small requests this week to build the habit. Your relationships will either adjust to your new boundaries or reveal themselves as one-sided arrangements that were never serving you well anyway. The people who truly care about you will respect your limits. Everyone else's disappointment is not your responsibility or problem to solve. Start prioritizing yourself today without guilt. Way 2. Stop maintaining a perfect house. Your obsession with housekeeping standards is costing you your health, your energy, and possibly your independence. Research on injury patterns in seniors shows that housework-related falls and injuries are among the most common preventable accidents in older adults. Reaching to dust high shelves, bending to scrub floors, climbing on step stools to clean windows, and heavy lifting while vacuuming all create fall risks that increase exponentially after age 70. The Mayo Clinic reports that falls are the leading cause of injury and death in seniors, and a significant percentage of these falls happen during unnecessary housekeeping activities. You're risking serious injury to maintain cleanliness standards that literally nobody cares about except you. The energy expenditure required for maintaining a spotless home directly competes with energy needed for activities that actually matter for your health and longevity. Every hour spent scrubbing, organizing, and deep cleaning is an hour not spent walking, socializing, pursuing hobbies, or resting. Activities that research shows are far more important for healthy aging than having perfectly clean baseboards. Studies from Johns Hopkins show that seniors who maintain high physical activity levels and strong social connections live longer and healthier lives than those who prioritize housekeeping. Your energy is finite. Spending it on housework means you don't have enough left for what actually extends your life and improves your quality of living. The psychological burden of maintaining impossible standards creates chronic stress that harms your mental and physical health. When your home doesn't meet your internalized standards, you feel anxious and inadequate. You avoid inviting people over because you're embarrassed by dust or clutter. You exhaust yourself cleaning before visitors arrive, then need days to recover. This cycle of anxiety, overwork, and exhaustion serves no beneficial purpose. Research in environmental psychology shows that excessively high cleanliness standards in older adults are often linked to anxiety and perfectionism that reduces overall life satisfaction. Your home should support your well-being, not demand sacrifices that compromise it. Vernon, 78, from Iowa, injured his back vacuuming under furniture weekly. His doctor told him bluntly to hire help or lower his standards because another injury might end his independence. Lower your housekeeping standards drastically starting right now and redirect that energy toward what actually matters. Define clean enough as safe, sanitary, and comfortable rather than perfect. Hire help for tasks that require bending, reaching, or climbing, even if you think you can't afford it. The cost of a fall far exceeds the cost of a cleaning service. Let dust accumulate on high surfaces. Leave closets unorganized. Accept that floors don't need daily vacuuming. Your home exists to serve you, not the other way around. Make this mental shift today and feel the immediate relief of released pressure. Way 3. Stop keeping up with technology. You don't need to understand every app, device, or social media platform that gets released. And trying to do so is creating unnecessary stress and frustration. Research on cognitive load and stress in older adults shows that forcing yourself to learn technology you don't need or want creates genuine psychological distress. Your brain is still perfectly capable of learning, but learning complex new systems requires significant cognitive resources that you might prefer to spend on activities you actually enjoy. The pressure to keep up with technology often comes from external expectations or a fear of being left behind, not from any genuine personal need or desire to use these tools. The reality is that most new technology offers minimal benefit to your daily life and often creates more problems than it solves. Smartphones became complex enough to require troubleshooting skills that most people don't have. Apps update constantly, changing interfaces that you finally learned. Features you never use get added, while things that worked well get changed or removed. Social media platforms create more stress and conflict than genuine connection. Studies from the Pew Research Center show that many seniors feel pressured to adopt technology they don't want, leading to frustration, reduced self-efficacy, and increased anxiety about being perceived as incompetent or outdated. This pressure serves the technology industry's interests, not yours. The time and energy you spend learning unnecessary technology could be invested in activities that actually enrich your life and bring genuine satisfaction. You don't need to understand cryptocurrency, TikTok, smart home devices, or the latest social media platform unless they solve a specific problem you actually have. Using technology that serves your needs while ignoring everything else isn't being stubborn or outdated. It's being selective and wise with your limited resources. Research shows that seniors who maintain confidence in their chosen level of technology adoption report higher life satisfaction than those who constantly struggle to keep up with changes they don't value. Curtis, 74, from Delaware, spent hours frustrated trying to learn his new smartphone's features until his grandson said most people only use about 10% of capabilities. Curtis decided to master only what he needed and stopped feeling inadequate about ignoring the rest. Use only technology that serves a clear, specific purpose in your life and completely ignore everything else starting today. If your basic cell phone makes calls and texts, you don't need a smartphone. If you don't care about posting photos online, you don't need to learn Instagram. If email and basic internet browsing meet your needs, ignore every other online platform. Make a list right now of the technology you actually use and need, then give yourself complete permission to ignore every single thing not on that list. Stop apologizing for your technology choices and stop trying to keep up. Embrace your comfort zone today. Way 4. Stop attending every social obligation. Most social events you attend out of obligation are draining you without providing any actual benefit to your well-being or relationships. Stanford psychologist Laura Carstenson's research on socio-emotional selectivity shows that as people age and recognize time limitations, they naturally benefit from prioritizing quality social interactions over quantity. Attending every party, event, shower, gathering, and obligation creates exhausting social schedules that leave you with no energy for the relationships and activities that actually matter. Each obligatory event you attend is time and energy you're not spending on meaningful connections with people you genuinely enjoy or on solitary activities that restore you. The exhaustion from obligatory social events isn't just about physical fatigue. It's about the emotional labor required to perform socially appropriate behavior in situations you don't want to be in. Research on emotional labor and aging shows that maintaining socially appropriate faces, making small talk with people you don't particularly like, and pretending interest in events that bore you creates genuine psychological stress that accumulates over time. You come home from these events feeling drained and irritable, needing days to recover your energy. The social benefits you think you're gaining don't materialize because these superficial interactions don't provide the deep connection and support that research shows actually improves health and longevity in older adults. The fear of offending people by declining invitations keeps you trapped in exhausting social obligations that serve no one well. You attend events you dread, arrive already tired, leave as soon as possible, and remember nothing positive about the experience. The hosts rarely notice whether you attended because there are dozens of other people there. Your absence wouldn't create the offense you imagine. Meanwhile, you're missing opportunities for small, meaningful interactions with the few people whose company you genuinely enjoy because you're too exhausted from obligatory events. Studies show that seniors who maintain smaller, carefully chosen social networks report higher satisfaction and better health than those with large networks of superficial connections maintained from obligation. Phyllis, 71, from Maryland, stopped attending her neighborhood association events and coffee gatherings. She worried people would think she was unfriendly, but nobody noticed, and she gained 6 hours weekly for activities she actually enjoyed. Decline 75% of social invitations starting this week and attend only events that bring genuine joy or serve important relationship purposes. Stop accepting invitations out of guilt, obligation, or fear of judgment. When you receive an invitation, Ask yourself honestly, do I actually want to attend this, or do I just feel like I should? If the answer is anything other than genuine desire, decline immediately with a simple, I won't be able to make it. You don't need elaborate excuses or explanations. Save your limited social energy for the few people and events that truly matter to you. Start exercising this selectivity today and notice how much energy you recover. Way 5. Stop worrying about others' opinions. Other people's opinions of you are none of your business anymore, and caring about them is stealing your peace and authenticity. Psychological research on self-perception and aging shows that older adults who reduce concern about others' judgments report significantly higher life satisfaction and psychological well-being. Worrying about what people think creates chronic low-level anxiety that affects your health, restricts your choices, and prevents you from living authentically. After 70, you finally have the perspective to understand that most people are too focused on their own lives to spend much time thinking about you. And those who do judge you aren't people whose opinions should influence your choices anyway. The mental energy you spend worrying about others' opinions is energy stolen from living your actual life according to your authentic preferences and values. You make choices based on external expectations rather than internal desires. You dress a certain way, maintain certain habits, and present a certain image to manage others' perceptions instead of expressing who you really are. This exhausting performance prevents genuine self-expression and forces you to live according to standards and values that might not align with your own. Research in developmental psychology shows that older adults who achieve authentic self-acceptance and stop performing for others' approval experience measurable improvements in mental health, physical health, and life satisfaction. The opinions you worry about most are often assumptions you're making about what others think rather than anything they've actually said. You imagine judgment that may not exist. You attribute malicious intent to neutral observations. You create elaborate stories about how others perceive you based on minimal evidence. Studies show that people dramatically overestimate how much others notice and judge them, a phenomenon called the spotlight effect. The reality is that most people are far too preoccupied with their own concerns to spend significant time judging yours. The few who do judge you harshly are revealing their own insecurities and values, not objective truths about you. Lorraine, 77, from Nevada, wore makeup daily for decades because she thought people would judge her appearance without it. When health issues made makeup application difficult, she stopped wearing it entirely and discovered that literally nobody commented or seemed to care at all. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years, before worrying about anyone's opinion starting right now? When you catch yourself modifying behavior to manage others' perceptions, stop and choose your authentic preference instead. Wear comfortable clothes that others might judge as unstylish. Skip events that everyone expects you to attend. Express opinions that don't align with your social group's consensus. Live according to your own values rather than performing for others' approval. The people whose opinions actually matter will respect your authenticity. Everyone else's judgment is irrelevant noise you should completely ignore. Stop caring what others think today and feel the immediate liberation. Way 6. Stop trying to fix everyone's problems. Your adult children's problems are not your responsibility to solve, and attempting to do so is damaging both your health and your relationships. Harvard Medical School research on caregiver stress and boundary setting in older adults shows that seniors who maintain clear boundaries around problem solving for adult family members experience significantly lower stress levels and better health outcomes. When you take on others' problems as your own, you create chronic worry and stress that elevates cortisol, disrupts sleep, and contributes to anxiety and depression. You're also enabling dependency that prevents the other person from developing their own problem-solving skills and resilience. The pattern of fixing others' problems often starts when your children are young and continues automatically into their adulthood without anyone questioning whether it still serves anyone well. Your adult children face relationship difficulties, financial struggles, career challenges and parenting stress, and you immediately jump in with solutions, money, or hands-on help. This might feel like good parenting, but research shows it actually undermines adult children's confidence and independence while creating resentment and exhaustion in parents. Studies published in the Journal of Family Psychology show that seniors who maintain clear boundaries around adult children's problems report better relationships and less caregiver burden than those who attempt to solve every issue. Your job is to offer emotional support and encouragement, not to fix everything. The financial cost of constantly solving others' problems often threatens your own financial security in ways you might not fully acknowledge. You give money to adult children who never pay it back. You co-sign loans that damage your credit when they default. You raid your retirement savings to fund their emergencies. You sacrifice your own needs and security to rescue them from consequences of their choices. This pattern creates financial stress that directly impacts your health while preventing the other person from learning financial responsibility. Research shows that financial stress is one of the strongest predictors of health problems in older adults, and self-imposed financial strain from family assistance is completely preventable with firm boundaries. Stanley, 79, from Montana, spent $40,000 over 5 years helping his daughter with temporary financial emergencies. His retirement savings depleted to dangerous levels before his financial advisor convinced him that continued help would jeopardize his own security. Offer empathy instead of solutions, starting immediately, and set firm boundaries around what you will and won't do for others. When someone brings you a problem, respond with, "That sounds difficult. What are you planning to do about it?" instead of immediately jumping in with fixes or money. Listen supportively without taking ownership of their issues. Say no to requests for money, time, or energy that you can't afford to give without compromising your own well-being. Their problems are theirs to solve, and protecting your resources isn't selfish. It's essential for your survival and security. Set these boundaries today before you deplete yourself completely. Way 7. Stop maintaining physical appearance perfection. The time and money you spend trying to look 20 years younger would be better invested in almost anything else, and the pursuit itself is stealing your peace and self-acceptance. Body image research in older adults shows that appearance anxiety increases with age, but is inversely correlated with life satisfaction. Meaning, the more you worry about looking young and attractive, the less happy you are. After 70, attempting to maintain impossible aesthetic standards requires increasing amounts of effort for diminishing returns. Your body shows signs of aging because it is aging, and no amount of products, procedures, or manipulation will reverse that fundamental reality. The pursuit is exhausting, expensive, and ultimately futile. The cosmetic and fashion industries profit enormously from convincing older adults that aging is shameful and must be hidden or corrected. You're targeted with marketing messages that equate aging appearance with loss of value, worth, and dignity. These messages are designed to create insecurity that drives purchasing behavior, not to reflect any objective truth about your value as a person. Research shows that seniors who resist these marketing messages and accept natural aging report higher self-esteem and better mental health than those who pursue anti-aging interventions aggressively. Your worth isn't determined by smooth skin, thick hair, or a particular body shape. The people who truly matter to you don't care about these superficial markers. The practical reality is that maintaining elaborate appearance routines becomes increasingly difficult as physical limitations develop. Applying makeup requires steady hands and good vision. Hairstyling requires flexibility and strength. Fashion choices that once felt effortless now require uncomfortable effort. You can spend enormous energy maintaining appearances, or you can redirect that energy toward comfort, health, and activities that actually enrich your life. Studies show that simplifying personal care routines reduces daily stress and frees significant time for more meaningful pursuits. Clean, comfortable, and presentable is enough. Perfection is an impossible standard that serves no beneficial purpose. Ramona, 73, from California, spent 2 hours daily on hair and makeup until arthritis made the routine painful. When she simplified to basic hygiene and comfort, she gained 12 hours weekly and stopped feeling anxious about her appearance. Aim for clean and comfortable rather than perfect starting today, and invest the freed resources in what actually matters. Simplify your grooming routine to basic hygiene. Choose comfortable clothes over fashionable ones. Let your hair be whatever color and style requires minimal maintenance. Skip makeup if you don't enjoy applying it. Your goal is to feel good, not to meet external aesthetic standards. Redirect the money you're spending on anti-aging products toward experiences, comfort, or savings. Accept your aging body with gratitude for still functioning rather than criticism for changing. Make this shift towards self-acceptance today. Way 8. Stop feeling guilty about rest and doing nothing. Rest isn't laziness. It's essential medicine after 70 that directly extends your life and preserves your independence. The National Institute on Aging's research on rest and longevity shows that adequate rest periods throughout the day significantly reduce mortality risk and improve cognitive function in older adults. When you rest, your body performs critical repair and maintenance functions that can't happen during activity. Your heart rate slows, blood pressure decreases, stress hormones normalize, and cellular repair processes accelerate. Resting isn't wasting time. It's investing in the biological maintenance that keeps you alive and functional. Feeling guilty about rest is like feeling guilty about refueling a car. The cultural bias against rest and inactivity creates toxic guilt that prevents seniors from meeting legitimate physiological needs. You've internalized messages that productivity and constant activity define your value. So sitting quietly or napping feels like moral failure. This internalized guilt drives you to stay busy even when your body desperately needs rest, creating chronic fatigue that increases fall risk, impairs judgment, and accelerates health decline. Research from Johns Hopkins shows that seniors who honor their body's rest signals maintain better physical and cognitive function than those who push through fatigue. Your body's fatigue signals aren't weaknesses to overcome. They're essential information about your genuine needs that you must respect. The medical evidence supporting regular rest is overwhelming and unambiguous. Studies show that afternoon rest periods reduce cardiovascular mortality risk, improve memory consolidation, enhance mood, and decrease fall risk in older adults. Sleep research demonstrates that adequate nighttime sleep plus strategic daytime rest periods optimizes health outcomes in ways that activity alone cannot achieve. Your body needs regular intervals of complete rest to function optimally, and denying these needs to maintain a productive appearance directly compromises your health and longevity. There's no virtue in exhausting yourself when rest is medically indicated and beneficial. Wilma, 75, from Ohio, felt guilty about daily afternoon naps until her doctor explained they were preventing the dangerous fatigue that causes most senior falls. Reframing rest as medical necessity eliminated her guilt. Schedule guilt-free rest periods daily and treat them as non-negotiable health requirements starting immediately. Block out time every afternoon for complete rest, lying down with your eyes closed for 30 to 60 minutes, regardless of whether you sleep. Reject any suggestion that this rest is laziness or wasting time. It's essential health maintenance equivalent to taking prescribed medication. If anyone criticizes your rest needs, inform them you're following medical guidance for healthy aging. Get comfortable with doing absolutely nothing without guilt or justification. Your body needs rest to survive and function. Embrace rest starting right now as the health intervention it truly is. Being strategically lazy about things that don't matter isn't giving up. It's finally becoming wise enough to protect your energy for what truly matters. These 8 changes can add years to your life and life to your years by eliminating unnecessary stress and freeing resources for genuine health and happiness. You've earned the right to stop trying so hard. Tell me in the comments which of these 8 things you're going to stop caring about first. If this gave you permission to stop exhausting yourself over things that don't matter, hit that like button and share this video with other seniors who need to hear they can finally relax. Subscribe for more truth about making your later years the best years.